that at the museum, and he told me about it. And I was like, how am I just now finding out about this?
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, and I found out about it, and it was an instant source of inspiration and pride for me, and just made me realize, it explained a lot of the revolutionary mindset that's in my family.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. How did that make you feel when you like found out about your lineage?
I felt kind of robbed that I didn't know beforehand, but life happens. I never asked nobody why they didn't tell me. I just kept it moving. But yeah, I was just like, wow, man, I can't believe that, I'm that close to the civil rights movement, which, sparked change around the world, because they based Nelson Mandela based his campaign against apartheid and used America as a launching pad or example for him to do that there. So to know that somebody that I'm related to plays such a big part in changing the world, let me know that one of his famous sayings, which is attributed to either Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks or somebody, but after Rosa Parks was at the back of the bus, she got bonded out, and they were sitting at the table discussing the boycott. And some of the people there were still practicing the politics of responsibility. Just be a good black man, get your job, put on a suit, and the white man gonna give us our rights and freedom sooner or later, like we're supposed to get in equality. So if you can imagine how wild it would be if somebody said, we're gonna outlaw heterosexual sex intercourse. What?
Yeah.
The whole world is, what are you talking? That's changing the whole world.
Indeed, yeah.
It seems mind-boggling and highly unrealistic. And my great-grandfather said, never underestimate the power of a few determined individuals to change the world. And then they decided to embark on what they did. So it just lets me know that I might feel small, even in prison, right? I might feel small, I might feel insignificant, I might feel like my actions and opinions and thoughts and desires don't matter that much because of the world and my skin color, etc. And it let me know none of that matters, man. If you got something that you want to do, just put your mind to it and stay true to it and dedicated to it, and you can change the world, man.
Yeah, faith of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right about that. So a story. You know what I mean? So what is the story about your great grandfather that most people don't know, but you think the world should know?
I never met him. His daughter moved to New York and had my father and his siblings, and sadly enough, I never got to be around him or see him or know him or anything like that. So, everything that I'm able to find out about him, it's not much like family stories and whatnot, because I never got to meet my grandmother as well. She died before I was born. So I never really got too many family anecdotes about him, but I plan on reaching out and seeing, because there's a whole Gilbert. Gilbert was his last name. And my father, his brother, two of my little brothers, all their names are Ralph Mark Gilbert. And that was Reynolds. So it's Ralph Mark Gilbert Reynolds, Ralph Mark Gilbert Reynolds. Like my father and his brother had the same exact name, Ralph Mark Gilbert Reynolds. And so, it's a legacy that no one wanted anybody in the lineage to forget. You know what I'm saying? The significance of what one of my forefathers did. So
that's what's up.
But he was a playwright. He was a creative as well. You know what I'm saying? He was a playwright. He wrote plays. He opened a bank. He was a pastor.
So I mean that's good stuff right there, because even they don't even talk about that. Like he had a bank, he was a playwright, and I know it's news, so they can't cover everything. You know what I'm saying? But that's good right there. He had a bank, especially at that time.
Right.
We're not talking about like 1970. We're not talking about 1960.
Even now, how many black banks are there? You know what I'm saying? And we know what they did to the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all the other black independent, financially independent towns and situations. They would do everything they could to just tear them down, break them down, to keep us mitigated to poverty. You know what I'm saying? So to do that during that time, I mean, I'm just like Fred Hampton died at 21, and I'm like, man, what have I done? You know what I'm saying? Like, so to think we got all this freedom and a little more freedom, and we got opportunities now that they didn't have then. And what are we doing with it? So it's an example for me to step it up and make an impact on the world in a positive way. Yeah.
Okay. Community leaders and advocates spoke on the importance of preserving his legacy.
Ralph Mark Gilbert.
If we lose the markers, if we lose the place where the story needs to be told, then our kids, the young guys, miss the opportunity to spread the story. So then we aren't able to speak the name.
Many agreeing with the museum's founder, Wesley Wallace Law, who said, quote, honoring this great man is long overdue.
There was a thumping of praise in my heart and a glory to God that all of the hard work of all of the people who made it possible through the ages is acknowledged today with the unveiling of that marker. And I know they are smiling, and I'm somehow left to tell the story.
Yeah, indeed. So you see, who went to New York?
His daughter.
His daughter went to New York.
New York and got with my grandfather, who was the Reynolds, and had my father and his siblings. My father, his and two sisters and a brother.
Okay, okay. Even your parents, and they were also like entrepreneurs, and they were also go-getters.
Entrepreneurship has just been like it's in my DNA. My grandmother had a salon. My father, he in the 80s, he was I was on the floor here playing, and Madonna, Basquiat, Wesley Snipes is my uncle. He married my mother's sister. All of these people were around me as a child. My mother and father met in art class, and my mom's an entrepreneur. She does hair, has had multiple salons over the years. My father obviously is a very well-known, highly successful entrepreneur in the fashion industry. And me, myself, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 14 in one way or another. Yeah. So it's just something that without even knowing my full history in my family, it was in me to be creative and be an artist and be an entrepreneur.
It's like that cellular memory. It's in your bloodline. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you think that's where you get your warrior spirit, your artistic spirit from?
Yeah, I always look at it like, if you read a book about your father's life, I'm talking about every single moment. A big, maybe encyclopedia just breaking down his whole life. It would give you so much more insight into who he was and why he did what he did in regard to raising you or whatever the case may be. And without even that information, it just came out of me. Like I said, my mother and father met in art class in high school. I'm a former child prodigy with